Good evening from Washington. I'm Larry O'Connor. Hey, remember last week when we covered those hearings of the CEO of TikTok? His whole job there was to assure members of Congress that, no, of course, the Chinese party doesn't have any control over what we're doing here. Of course, Americans' data and information is safe in our hands. And remember this moment?
My colleague, Representative Latta, confirmed that your parent company, ByteDance, currently can access user data. Yes?
We have to be more specific.
Yes.
After Project Texas, no.
I'm not asking after Project Texas. I'm asking now. Yes.
Some user data is public data, Congresswoman, which
So
means
you
everybody
confirm that.
can.
Oh boy, that's good stuff. That's Representative Cammack, and not only does she have a fine Gadsden flag sticker on her tablet, but she also is relentless in questioning of witnesses like that. And that's why we love her, and she's here with us tonight. Representative Cammack, thanks for joining us.
Hey, glad to be with you.
That guy wasn't telling the truth. I mean, I don't have an expert eye like yours, but boy, that was an evasive witness.
Yeah, you know, it was pretty remarkable. He did the thing that not many people could do. He brought Republicans and Democrats together in unity against TikTok. And it was because he was so evasive. He continued to talk about future plans, would refuse to essentially answer any questions about the present or the past. And so he was doing more in casting doubt about TikTok's future than actually dispelling some of the rumors that have been out there. So I say it was a pretty bad day on Capitol Hill for TikTok.
So one has to wonder, why does President Biden and the Biden administration still carry the water for TikTok? Why do some of your colleagues, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, opened up a TikTok account and did a big defense of TikTok immediately after this hearing? I mean, don't they see what you see?
They absolutely have the ability to. In her first TikTok video, which she did from inside a government building, which is questionable in itself, she said that she hadn't received a briefing. Well, any member of Congress at any time can go down to the SCIF and receive a classified briefing from the FBI, the CIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, Homeland Security. All of these agencies have reports that directly and clearly outline the threat that TikTok and its parent company ByteDance pose to the United States and its citizens. So I don't know if that's laziness on her part or if it's ignorance. Neither is acceptable. She's a member of Congress. She needs to go down and get that briefing before continuing to jeopardize national security. It's really a shame because I've heard from several of my Democrat colleagues that they're concerned about TikTok, about the influence that the CCP has within ByteDance. They have members of the Chinese Communist Party Politburo, the propaganda arm for the CCP, sit on the board of ByteDance. And so you have Democrats that are raising these concerns, but then you have a few members of the squad that are just concerned about elections. I had a colleague from New York who said, oh, it's because Republicans don't have any swag. Yeah. That's why they want to get rid of TikTok. Yeah. And I know one thing, you got to talk about having swag. Baby, you ain't got no swag.
Yeah, and well, Cammack's got plenty of swag to go around. So what's going to happen here? Because, listen, the big takeaway from this hearing, and you were able to expose it in your questioning here, Cammack, was that Americans' data is not protected here. There is no way that this man could guarantee it. And we know that our data is now accessible and has been and probably will be for the future accessible by the Communist Party in China, by Beijing. Does it require legislation? Is that what we're going to move toward next?
Absolutely. I think more broadly, we have a real issue, a glaring issue when it comes to protecting Americans' personal data. And that is not just a TikTok problem. That is a Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Reddit, you name it. All of these apps have had unfettered access to Americans' data. And it's everything from keystrokes to your biometrics to your networks, all the contacts on your phone, the financial information that you keep on your phone, et cetera. So we have to now turn our focus to a national data privacy standard. That is going to be the first step in kind of reining this in, because we have a couple of constitutional issues here at play. You have the Fourth Amendment, which, of course, we have been seeing warrantless data collection on Americans for years. And that data has, in many cases, been turned around and used against Americans by their own government, but also by bad actors, both foreign and domestic. We've also seen the First Amendment come under a regular attack by these social media companies, deplatforming and censoring conservatives. Heck, the TikTok CEO couldn't even acknowledge the fact that they were deplatforming people who were talking about the active genocide happening right now in China. When he was called out on it, he started restoring accounts one by one. I guarantee you in a couple weeks, those accounts will probably come down because he himself couldn't denounce the active genocide taking place. He wouldn't condemn the CCP's human rights abuses, and it's because he's a puppet of the CCP.
Congresswoman Cammack, I always like to speak with members of Congress about what's going on in their home states. And just yesterday, your governor signed an incredibly expansive school choice provision for the people of Florida. Lucky Floridians once again. I'd love for you to talk to me a little bit about, because it does tie into this TikTok thing. It ties into the social aspects of public schools and the contagions, the social contagions that so many children are forced to endure with their classmates. And now parents have more choice in Florida. How important is that to Floridians? And will there be an equal move at the federal level to move school choice for every state in the union?
Well, it certainly won't be for lack of trying at the federal level, but let's be clear. I believe that education should be relegated to the states. There is no one better than local educators and parents who know best when it comes to educating our kids. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. We are seeing scores across the nation slide in a downward trajectory. When you have 31% of eighth graders who are not even proficient at basic reading, that is a problem. We have a literacy crisis in this country. And so I think school choice is a huge answer in the way of allowing parents to dictate the best educational platforms and alternatives for their child based on their needs, not their zip code. That's what we should be pushing for, is more parents empowered to make those choices and putting these kids first. We cannot expect that the one-size-fits-all educational approach that's been shoved down people's throats for years is going to continue to work. It's just proven that it can't.
Well, and I know from my conversations with you in the past, you're committed to free speech on government school campuses, college campuses.
Yeah.
You've been working with Young America's Foundation to that end. But the fact that you even have to fight for free speech in government-run schools and college campuses, why do we even have to have that fight, ma'am? We've got a First Amendment. Free speech is already there.
Well, somewhere along the line, the snowflakes figured out that if the speech was harmful in some way, as in it hurt their feelings, they didn't want it. So we've seen a total full-out assault on conservative voices in campuses, going so far as students to write papers differently so that they don't get dinged on their grades. You've had schools deny conservative speakers coming to their campuses. You've had student groups being denied equal treatment than, say, their liberal counterparts. And that's just wrong. On a college campus, you should celebrate free speech, even if it offends you. The minute that we start picking and choosing what is truly free speech, that's when we get into a dangerous area. So the Campus Free Speech Caucus is something that we've worked really hard to promote. We're issuing a congressional free speech challenge this year amongst all my colleagues. And we're really excited because whether you're liberal or conservative, the First Amendment, it's there to protect your free speech.
Well, we love that, and we love Young America's Foundation. Thanks for working with them. One consolation, though, I am told, ironically, that your exchange with the CEO of TikTok actually went viral on TikTok. So, I mean, there's that.
You know, it's interesting. I think we're up to 42 million tags, views, posts, kind of a internet sensation template of sorts. And I will say that the strong majority of it is pretty negative, pretty awful. I've seen a bit of it, but it's interesting because they're making my point. I've never seen so many Americans become simps for the CCP. This is really playing right into the hands of the Chinese Communist Party, using Americans as little good foot soldiers to amplify their Chinese propaganda. Pretty sad, but just means that we've got a lot of work to do.
Simps for the CCP. That, boys and girls, is swag. More to come on O'Connor Tonight.